What's going on, you bunch of heathens? We're back with another oversimplified video. This time, the Russian Revolution Part 1. You guys already know I love history, and Oversimplified does it pretty fucking well. So here we are. Make sure you guys check out the original. Let's jump in.
Hey Jimmy, it's the 1800s, an exciting time to be alive. Why don't you get out there and explore the world? Gee whiz, Mom, thanks.
Gee
This
whiz.
place is amazing. Where am I? Why, you're in France, my boy. Here we come up with wacky new ways of running a country. Liberty, equality, fraternity. Whoa, welcome to the United Kingdom. Here we invented the train. Oh, boy.
Oh, are we gonna be going through every country and you're gonna end up in Russia and be like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm assuming it's that.
Smokes! You're in a German factory, my friend. Here we harness fire and coal to create all these sexy lederhosen. This is incredible. I can't wait to see where I'll end up next.
It's kind of weird to say to a young boy. Just saying, like, yeah, here we make all these sexy lederhosen. To a young boy is kind of weird, but okay.
Next. Where am I? You're in Russia. Have I gone back in time? No, this is just how it is. Are you a farmer?
No.
Worse. Technically, my landlord owns me, which makes me a serf. I'm scared. You should be, because I haven't eaten in 4 days, and you look pretty tasty. Hey, Jimmy, how are your travels? I hate you!
I wonder, was like cannibalism a big issue? Like in situations
Russia
like that?
In the 19th century, feudal, underdeveloped, and stuck in the past. While the rest of Europe had been modernizing and improving their citizens' lives, Russia's rulers were taking a different approach. My lord, we're falling behind the rest of Europe. It's time to industrialize, give the people rights, and share your power. Russian Tsars had no time for pathetic ideas like liberty and modernization.
I mean, you say that, but Catherine the Great was very big on that. She led Russia into a golden age of, like, no, Catherine the Great was really big on that.
Because they were too busy having the time of their lives. While the serfs were breaking their backs in the fields, the
I mean,
Tsars held all
at least
the
I'm pretty
power,
sure
and
at
they
least.
didn't have to listen to anyone. Want to run the country like a backwards feudal kingdom while the rest of Europe outpaces you militarily and economically? Go right ahead. Want to keep the people uneducated so they don't get any ideas? There's no one to stop you. Want to keep exporting grain even when there's a massive famine causing hundreds of thousands to die? That is your God-given right.
Wow. Good to know that killing a bunch of your people with famine is like a big thing for Russia. Considering it's not the first time it's happened.
While all of this was great for the Tsar, if you were
like, that's a
literally
big thing for
anybody
Russia
else,
from what I can
it probably
tell.
sucked because Russia was falling behind. If they were to keep up with Europe, they'd need a strong ruler with some big ideas. Oh look, here comes one now. Hey everyone, it's me, Tsar Alexander II, and I've got some big news. I'm releasing you all from your serfdom. You're all free.
Yes!
Yep, I'm the best. Oh,
Yay!
there is one thing though. I spoke to your local lords and they weren't happy about losing all their free labor. So as a compromise, you're all gonna have to pay them back a near impossible amount of money for the next 49 years. Expect your lives to barely change. Okay, bye.
Well, that's almost... I mean, that's not historically unprecedented, unfortunately. I mean, the US did that when we freed the slaves. Not only was there still a shitload of racism, I forget exactly what it was called. It's been too long since I was in school. But basically, because it was so hard for them to get work anywhere else, past slave owners were like, okay, I'll pay you. It'll be absolutely almost nothing. And it was basically like, oh, you basically work to live on the plantation where you used to be enslaved and shit like that. So overall, not a lot changed. It took a while for shit to change, if I remember correctly.
Now I know what you're thinking. This Tsar Alexander II seems like a pretty cool guy. He's trying to reform the country and get Russia on the right path. Everyone must love this guy, right?
Nope.
Wrong. Why does one man get to decide the fate of everyone in the country? This whole system is dumb. Somebody should do something.
Because that's how...
Like, kill the Tsar. You're gonna kill the Tsar? Well, me? No. I'm busy. I was kinda hoping you'd do it. Okay, see? The people love me. They're throwing flowers, confetti, and high-grade explosives.
Oh shit.
Okay, Nicholas, your grandfather has a mild case of being blown up by a terrorist, and he's not looking too hot. So we're gonna
Oh.
go say our goodbyes.
Is that how Nicholas became the Tsar? I didn't know that. Well, I mean, there's his father, but I didn't know that that's how... Okay.
Okay? No, it'll be too scary for him. Nonsense, it won't be scary at all. We're just gonna say a quick goodbye. Ready? Boy, look at me. The people did this to me. And one day, they'll do it to you! See? Wasn't scary at all.
I mean, he's not wrong. When the revolution came in, if I remember, they killed the entire fucking household down to the children. Like some real fucky shit.
So Alexander II was dead, but luckily, they had another Alexander lying around. Alexander III. And he felt his dad's reforms had weakened the
Okay,
Tsars'
I don't know
authority.
anything about the
Russia
third.
was massive, and as a result, had many ethnic minorities. Non-Russians? More interested in their own cultural heritage than in loving me? Isn't it great? So much beautiful
Can't have
culture
that,
and
can we?
diversity in our great nation. Alexander thought all these minorities should be a little more Russian, and thereby loyal to him. So he repressed religious minorities. He repressed non-Russians. He introduced the Okhrana, a secret police force that repressed anybody who thought having a czar was dumb. If Alexander II was the great reformer, Alexander III was the great repressor. Now that's how you run a country. Hey, Dad? Ugh, great. It's my son Nicholas, who I like to call a girly girl because he's so weak and pathetic. When are you gonna grow up?
Oh,
you still
hey,
look
I
like a
grew
girly
up,
girl to
bitch.
me. But Dad, I grew a beard. Yeah, an ugly girly girl beard.
Ah, go fuck yourself, butt homie.
He needed his dad to teach him how to run the country, but his dad instead suggested that Nicholas go somewhere else. So Nicholas went to Japan, got an edgy dragon tattoo, had his head sliced off by a policeman, and then came
Wait, he got a tattoo? That's fucking hilarious. Hold on, I gotta go back.
somewhere else. So Nicholas went to Japan, got an
Wait, was he like the original weeaboo? He was a fucking
edgy
weeaboo.
dragon
Huh.
tattoo, had his head sliced off by a policeman, and then came home. Now will you teach me how to rule? I suppose it's time. Okay, there's a lot you need to know before becoming czar. Uh-oh. What?
And he dies.
I've got kidney inflammation.
Of course, refuses to actually teach him anything, and then when it comes down to it, to actually do something, fucking keels over and dies. Not fucking surprising. That fucking sucks for him.
Oh no. Upon his father's death, a totally unprepared Nicholas II ascended to the Russian throne. He wasn't a reformer like his grandfather, nor was he a repressor like his dad. Nicholas was Nicholas. Timid?
Yeah, 'cause he
easily
didn't fucking
swayed,
know
and more
anything.
interested in doing whatever the hell this is. Or this. Or this.
What, being a homie? Homie looked like he living his best life.
He wasn't ready to rule, and he himself admitted it, saying, "I'm not yet ready to be czar. I know nothing of the business of ruling." Bit of an awkward time to bring it up. However,
Yeah,
Nicholas
very
firmly believed
awkward.
that he was chosen by God to be Russia's big daddy. And while he doubted his ability to rule, he was going to give it his best shot. And hey, who knows?
Hey,
Maybe he wouldn't
best
be so
you can
bad
do.
after all. To get things off to a good start, Nicholas promised free pretzels and beer to a huge crowd in Moscow to celebrate his coronation. So enticing a proposition to starving peasants that the ensuing stampede left nearly 1,500 people dead. What the hell
Oh,
happened?
no.
We're not sure, but you're
That's
sure
not
to go
good.
party with the French at 8 o'clock. Shouldn't I stay here out of respect for the people? When have Russian czars ever respected the people? Nicholas's decision to go party with the French
Unfortunate.
immediately tarnished his image.
Of course
Some
it
were calling
did.
him Nicholas the Bloody. The Tsars had been partying hard at the expense of the people for long enough. They'd emancipated the serfs, but failed to lift them out of poverty. They used their secret police to crack down on anyone who might criticize them, and they'd failed to modernize and give the people rights, something the rest of Europe had begun doing over a century ago. The rule of the Tsars was quickly becoming outdated.
Come
and more
on,
and more
Nick.
Russians
You had
began
one
wondering
job.
if there was a better way. For many, the solution was simple. Just look to the West. Republics, democracies, and constitutional monarchies galore. But a small growing group rejected that for an even better idea. A little something they called communism. Take Vladimir
Not better,
Lenin, an
bitch.
intelligent member of Russia's middle
Oh,
class.
fuck Lenin.
And also, a massive ill-tempered jerk. If you disagreed with him about anything, he wasn't afraid to call you out. You fat-headed, simple-minded, vapid, cockeyed imbecile! Tenderheart Bear is a far superior Care Bear to Bedtime Bear.
It's a hell of a fucking insult.
And he was no stranger to political unrest either. His older brother was executed for plotting to kill the Tsar, and Lenin himself
As he should have been,
university for
honestly.
participating in a student protest. But how did Lenin go from being a middle-class nerd to the arbiter of socialist divinity? Well, to tell that story, we first need to go back a few decades to when a man named Karl Marx wrote a manifesto explaining how capitalism is a system whereby the stinky bourgeoisie oppressed and exploited the working masses, and that only through class warfare could the workers rise up and instate a communist utopia. Now go back forward a few decades to Lenin reading that manifesto and loving it. But publicly admitting you loved Marx and not Russia's big daddy would get you the cruelest punishment imaginable: exile to Siberia. Enjoy exile, where you'll live with your wife, chill around town, and secretly write socialist newspapers. Hey, that doesn't sound so bad. And your mother-in-law is going to live with you. No! Once Lenin finished his stint in Siberia, he left Russia for Europe, where he was free to hang out with other Russian Marxists and talk about how great communism was. Now today, you might hear the word communism and think of this.
Yes, that is what communism
But
is.
that's not how intellectuals living under a tough Tsarist regime saw it. To them, communism promised a land where all were
Yes, but people fuck it up. On paper, it's the best fucking thing ever. Unfortunately, I can't. Fat Electrician has gone over this so many fucking times. I can't. I can't go over it again.
where workers weren't exploited, and even people like you could get a girlfriend.
I'm sorry. Wait. What was that?
Where all were equal.
Oh my god. When was this released? 5 years ago? Yeah, no. Tiger King. Oh. This makes me want to rewatch Tiger King, by the
Where
way.
workers weren't
I've been
exploited,
kind
and
of
even
wanting
people
to
like you
recently.
could get a girlfriend. So Lenin joined a party of Russian communists living in Europe, and he founded a communist newsletter that was smuggled into Russia to try to radicalize the people. However, not everyone in the Socialist Party agreed with Lenin. In fact, they disagreed with him on a lot of issues, and Lenin was so uncompromising that he caused a split in the party. During one conference, a heated debate broke out, and Lenin was unwilling to give an inch. You pig-ignorant, half-witted, fatuous morons! Cereal is a soup! Listen, Lenin, you're a smart guy, but you have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. I think I would consider
All in favor of cereal being a soup? Hey, would you look at that? We're in the
I don't like Lenin, but I would probably say I would probably agree.
So Lenin set up his own faction within the party he called the Majority, or Bolshevik if you're speaking Russian. And the other faction became known as the Minority, or Menshevik. And oddly, the majority were often in the minority, and the minority in the majority. The Mensheviks were less radical, whereas Lenin wanted the Bolsheviks to be loyal to him and his uncompromising ideas. And if you weren't loyal,
of course, look at that. He fucks up communism.
Lenin's attitude could lead to a one-man dictatorship. But come on, does this guy look like a dictator to you?
Yes, he does.
For now, Lenin
very much so.
Writing his socialist newspaper and impatiently awaiting an opportunity to overthrow the Tsar and bring communist utopia to Russia. Cool. A free hat. Who the heck are you? I'm definitely not a Russian secret police officer spying on Marxists. Oh crap, I don't want secret police watching me. Then you, my friend, should use
NordVPN.
Do you like having...
I like using the NordVPN logo.
Oh crap, I don't want...
Like, I'm gonna skip the ad really quick, but
you, my friend, should
wait
use
for it.
NordVPN.
I like that he uses the logo as like his hair. That's actually a nice little touch. I don't know why. I think that's fucking kind of cute.
All right. Mon petit pois. Now where was I? Oh yeah. A timid, easily swayed Tsar, a massive ill-tempered jerk, impatiently awaiting a communist revolution. And revolution was coming.
Oh, are we gonna touch on... I'm going to assume we're gonna touch on Rasputin. There's no way you don't touch on Rasputin in regards to the revolution.
Back in St. Petersburg, one of the Tsar's most skilled and influential advisors knew the country finally needed to catch up with the rest of Europe. Hey Nick, we really got to industrialize, get more factories, and make some, I don't know, textiles or something.
Okay.
Won't that change the social fabric of Russia? Maybe. Hey, isn't it past your bedtime? But I haven't had my milk and snuggles yet. Will you snuggle me? Nicholas thought modernization was boring, but he let Sergei do his thing. And do his thing he did. He borrowed some money and got Russia some sexy factories. And you know what sexy factories means. Sexy workers. Dirt poor, sexy workers. Long hours, low wages, filthy disease-ridden factories. Sleep in overcrowded dormitories with all your stinky worker friends. Get your arms ripped off in a freak Russian doll accident.
I'm just sitting here thinking, so a Temu factory? Like, I've seen videos of that shit. That shit's fucky.
Conditions were terrible, but this growing working class wasn't about to take it lying down. They started to do what workers do best.
You were so close to
Strike.
greatness.
Despite Sergei's efforts, people in Russia still weren't happy. Peasants were still poor.
Come on,
Liberals
Sergei.
still wanted reform, and now the workers wanted better working conditions. And the
Just
problem
give
with
it to
being an
them.
autocrat is that when everyone's unhappy, there's only one person to blame: you. The people hate me. What do I do? Ooh,
Give them
I
what
know.
they
Why don't we
want.
find a weak and pathetic nation to go to war with? We'll win easily, and everyone will love me again. Why don't we?
Oh, is this when they go to war with Japan and fucking lose? I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
Just try treating the people better.
Oh, that's
As luck would
gross.
have it, and
What's the anime where there's an anime where it focuses on a soldier who survived this. I cannot remember what the fuck it was. It was a really good anime. I never finished it. I got really far into it but didn't actually finish.
opportunity for
I gotta
war was
watch it.
forming in
I
the
gotta
Far
find it again.
East. Russia wanted to expand its sphere of influence into northern China, and coincidentally, so did Japan. But Japan didn't really want war, so they proposed an idea to reduce the tension. Hey man, we'll let you do your thing in Manchuria if you let us do our thing in Korea. I don't think so. We've got the largest army in the world. What do you have? I'm the Emperor of Japan. I have a giant mecha suit. Whoa.
Hell yeah!
Nicholas and the boys didn't see Japan as a threat, so they felt they could push Japan around. But
Oh,
little
come
did they
on,
know,
Nick. I
Japan
thought
had
you were
been
a
rapidly
weeaboo.
militarizing. And when they launched a surprise attack on a Russian fleet at Port Arthur,
I keep almost calling him a wereaboo. That's someone obsessed with the German army. No, weeaboo.
everyone was shocked. Nicholas hoped it was an opportunity to win a quick war and regain the support of the people.
Nope,
Nobody
nope, nope,
seriously
nope.
thought a puny Asian country could defeat a European superpower, and the Russian people were filled with patriotic spunk. Hey everyone,
But it
we're
doesn't
at war
work.
with Japan. Hey everyone,
We
we're
lost
losing the war.
the war.
The Japanese won, an embarrassing defeat for Tsar Nicholas. Russia had enough
God, yeah, it
problems,
was.
but now it had been internationally humiliated. The public were outraged. Unrest increased. Nicholas needed snuggles now more than ever. The tension was rising rapidly, and Russia was on the verge of revolution. All it needed was one disaster to push it over the edge. And that disaster would come in January 1905 from an unlikely source, a handsome Orthodox priest named Father Gapon. Father Gapon
okay, so
was
it's
leading
not-
workers and their families to the Winter Palace. But this wasn't some violent uprising. It was a peaceful protest. They wanted to deliver a petition to Nicholas, which simply asked for more freedom and better working conditions. The protest
Simple,
was
just
actually
give it
so
to 'em, you
peaceful and
fucks.
respectful that the Marxists thought it was a big waste of time. Hey Nicholas, some priest is leading a peaceful protest. Says here they want to give you a petition. A peaceful petitioning priest? I better get out of here. Nicholas had actually left the Winter Palace days earlier, and in his place,
Oh, that's
they brought
unfortunate.
in a truckload of troops, ordered to stop Father Gapon from reaching the palace. Hello, good sir, and long live the Tsar. Please, allow me to pass this simple
God.
petition to our dear father, Nicholas II. Good day to you too. Please, allow us to respond by opening fire.
Fucking moron. It was so
What began as a peaceful
simple.
protest ended in tragedy. Imperial soldiers opened fire on the crowd. Around 200 civilians died, 800 more were wounded. All they wanted was the opportunity to ask Nicholas to improve their lives. Instead, they were met with bullets. Nicholas didn't personally order the troops to fire, but as an autocrat, he
It
got
was
the blame.
yeah, he's the
event became
manager.
known as
He gets
Bloody Sunday,
it goes on
and
him.
Nicholas's reputation plummeted. Strikes erupted across the empire. Workers' demands increased. Liberals demanded political power. Peasants demanded land. The country was out of control, and the 1905 revolution had begun. Listen, Nicholas, peasants seizing my land and murdering my family I can tolerate, but illegally chopping my wood? That's obscene! And the worse I treat my workers, the more they strike. I don't get it. Everyone relax. As
So
long as
just
the
treat them
military is still
better,
on
that's
my side,
simple.
There's nothing to worry about. Sir, the sailors are starting to mutiny. Well, my life just sucks. With Russia still losing to the Japanese, unrest was growing.
Oh,
in
I
the
didn't- I
military,
thought the
and
war
some
was
sailors
over.
had
No,
even
it's still
taken to
going.
Killing officers. Having the people against you was bad enough, but if the military joined in, it would be game over.
Yeah,
to
it
make matters
would.
worse, in October, workers and Marxists, including one Leon Trotsky, began setting up local elected
Trotsky.
councils called Soviets that coordinated strikes and supplied the workers. Sergei could see the writing on the wall. Things were going south fast, and he needed a big idea to save the Tsar. And luckily, he had just that. You see, all these angry people from different parts of society weren't really working together, meaning there was a weakness to exploit. Sergei wrote a manifesto that would give the liberals an elected assembly called the Duma. It took some convincing, but eventually Nicholas agreed to share power and have his laws approved by an elected assembly.
So, Parliament then? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know. Like, I know Britain, you have the monarchy in Britain, but you also have the prime minister and then also Parliament. But before they had a prime minister, I think Parliament was still a thing. So is it like that?
Assembly. Hey, liberals, here's your stupid manifesto. Happy now? We certainly are. But what about these guys? Aren't you gonna give them what they want? Oh, goodness no. I was just gonna kill them. With the liberals satisfied, and after ending the war with Japan, the Tsar brought thousands of troops home, who then dismantled the Soviets, arrested their leaders, and crushed the peasant uprisings in the countryside.
I mean, almost smart. I think overall you should have gone for the peasants. Satisfy, or two, satisfy the liberals and the peasants. Get rid of the Soviets.
And how about that?
I think that would have been
Nicholas
best.
Agreed to share power with. Well,
he doesn't.
He then wrote a bunch of new laws, which basically said, hey, remember that manifesto I wrote and how you guys were going to approve my laws? Slight change of plan. Actually, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, and you guys are going to shut up. What?
Oh, so you fucking fucked them over.
People. What people?
God.
You know, this is why people don't like you. And just like that, Nicholas had survived the 1905 revolution. But wait, a revolution? In Russia? Where was Lenin? Well, Lenin and his communist pals were still in exile. He tried desperately to radicalize the uprising, but all he could do was watch. As the movements failed to organize, the liberals sold out the poor, and the Tsar outplayed the people. Furious, he believed Russia had missed a great chance
and
for
then,
a real revolution. From now on, he
I'm assuming part 2 is going to go into more the actual Soviet revolution.
The only way left was an armed revolution by the workers. Watching the events of 1905 unfold, Lenin learned a lot. The Tsar, however, would prove to have learned nothing. After the 1905 revolution had failed, the Tsar's new top man was Pyotr Stolypin, and he had big ideas to prevent any more chaos. Step 1, reform agriculture. This'll make the peasants love you. And step 2, we'll kill anyone who doesn't. To discourage any more revolutionary ideas, Stolypin began to crack down even harder on the Tsar's opponents, and thousands were sentenced to death. The noose even earned itself a new nickname, Stolypin's necktie. I don't get it. Oh, I see, because it goes around my neck. That's so funny. But despite the oppression, many positive reforms were also being made, and the Russian economy even began to improve. This was a problem for Lenin. If the people weren't suffering, the economy even began to improve.
I told you I shouldn't be Tsar. Economic downturn. Can I buy a Porsche yet? I'm rich. I mean, we're rich.
That's funny. A problem for Lenin. If the people weren't suffering, then they wouldn't support a revolution. Still in exile and lacking funds, the Bolsheviks simply weren't in a position to do anything. Luckily, it was around this time that Lenin met an incredibly handsome Georgian with your second favorite historical mustache, Joseph Stalin. Lenin and Stalin met at a communist convention in Finland, and Lenin liked Stalin because he was a real go-getter and was great at fundraising for the Bolsheviks. And by fundraising, I mean kidnapping, robbing, extorting, bribing, ransoming, assassinating, prison breaking, stealing, bank raiding, executioning, and stealing again.
I like that. Nice little touch on assassination showing Carol. I keep wanting to say Carl Baskin. That's a funny touch.
Hey Stalin, the Mensheviks aren't so hot in all this stealing, but we still need money. So the next time you do a big heist, just do it quietly. Okay, quietly. Got it. If this isn't quiet, I don't know what is. Stalin's wacky antics eventually got him exiled to Siberia, but he had established himself as a big balls Bolshevik. However, no amount of Bolshevik balls could stop what was happening. The Russian economy was making a recovery. For the Tsar, things were looking up. This is great. All Nicholas has to do is sit back and not mess anything up. Hey everyone,
What'd he do?
I'd like to introduce you to my new best friend.
Oh, Rasputin?
He's a crazy, drunken, beardy, horny, scandal-ridden magic wizard man, and he smells like a goat. We're screwed. Rasputin. A dirt-poor peasant from dirt-poor nowhere. But unlike all the other dirt-poor peasants, Rasputin had holy healing powers. And when this holy mystic wandered into St. Petersburg, people began to notice. He quickly became famous, and word of this mystery man and his healing hands made its way to the royal palace. The appearance of a holy homeless healer was of great interest to the Tsar and his wife. As far as royals go, they weren't that inbred, but they were just inbred enough for their son Alexei to get hemophilia, or in layman's terms, Mamma mia, that's a lot of blood. Knowing
Super
Rasputin
thin
could
blood,
heal
I believe.
In 1906, Alexander asked for Rasputin to come and see if he could cure their son. And crazy as it sounds, Rasputin did heal Alexei, possibly by taking him off his doctor-prescribed aspirin. Having seemingly done the impossible, Rasputin became very, very close to the royal family. But having a crazy homeless wizard man hanging around wasn't a good look for the Tsar, because Rasputin was freaky. Not only was he a big fan of
very.
alcohol, but he'd also throw these crazy parties with Russian nobility, where he'd and all night long, and then he'd his whole head hypnotic eyes, and nobody knew how the goat
Jesus.
got on the roof. Initially, the press were banned from talking about Rasputin, but eventually, the ban was lifted, and the tabloids went to town. The whole thing was a huge scandal, and everyone
would
was
be.
freaked out that this guy was influencing the Tsar and his wife.
God, he
Nicholas
looks
could have
fucking
spent this period
insane.
of relative peace improving his image. Instead, he spent it doing this. But as weird as the whole Rasputin thing was, so long as the economy continued to improve and the people's lives kept getting better, maybe Nick would be okay. Maybe there would be no more revolutions. Maybe this video could even end right here. Or maybe
We
things
ain't
were
that
about to
lucky.
get worse. A lot worse. You see, the year is 1914, and that means
Ooh.
it's time for World War I.
Oh shit, that's the end? Okay. I was gonna say, there's no way we don't bring up Rasputin at some point. For fuck's sake. Alexander III, you really fucked over your son in Russia. You really fucking did. Well, that was Oversimplified Russian Revolution Part 1. Make sure you guys check it out. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.